what we expect in 2023, so that we may be careful, so that we may be knowing, we may have an idea what is going to take place, so that when they happen, they are not new, but God already told us about what will take place. So there is going to be civil unrest all over the world, people rioting, people rising against governments. Okay, so let us pray, let us pray, let us keep ourselves in the presence of God. Remember this.
Hundreds of thousands of public sector workers walked off the job nationwide to protest the government's proposed pension reforms. This student says young people like her will be the first to feel the impact because there will be
the government for well more than a decade now. Attackers from the terror group Al-Shabaab set off a bomb and charged into the block that houses the office of Mogadishu's mayor. Somalia's Ministry of Information said that all the attackers were killed following a gunfight with the security forces. 6 civilians died and many more were wounded after this attack.
At 12:30 p.m., militants attacked the Benadir Region Administration headquarters and Somali security forces defended themselves and stopped the attack. At 4:30 p.m., the siege was over and security forces killed all the attackers. 6 civilians have died and more were wounded. The situation is now calm.
Now, this attack took place in a building that is in a well-guarded area and where the roads have concrete barriers and multiple roadblocks. The building is just a mile away from the president's office. Al-Shabaab has stepped up attacks in show of resilience and retaliation against the government. The government, led by President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, launched an offensive against the Al-Qaeda-linked group in August last year.
Sanchez has been accused of undermining the Spanish constitution. Over 100 associations joined hands to call for Saturday's protests. The demonstrations have been dubbed "For Spain, for Democracy and the Constitution." Many right-leaning opposition parties are driving the anger. They have branded the current government the worst government in Spain's history. At the Madrid Square, some people demanded the president to resign and others called him a traitor.
Entonces creo que era necesario venir y decir que basta ya y que lo importante es que salgamos de esta crisis económica que tenemos tan importante y que no se gaste el dinero en cosas tan superfluas y que tampoco nos importan a los españoles.
Pues básicamente por el eslogan que figura allí en el estrado.
Basically, I came because of the slogan on the podium, for Spain, for democracy, for the Constitution, to defend the current Spain, which allows us to live in freedom.
Atlanta is safe and our police officers have resolved the disruptions downtown from this evening. Thanks to the quick action of our public safety officials working together, order has been...
Late last night at events in Monterey Park near Los Angeles, where tens of thousands of people had gathered to welcome the Lunar New Year. 10 people were killed and 10 more were injured when the gunman fired on a dance studio. Chloe Keeley has the latest.
These were the tense final moments of a 2-hour standoff between police and a white van they believed their suspect could be inside. Their hunt for a man who murdered 10 people brought them to this car park in southwest Los Angeles. A painstakingly slow and delicate operation until the moment they finally smashed through the glass. It still isn't clear what they found inside, but this is the man they were looking for.
We haven't named him, and there's a reason for that. We have a lot of resources in the Sheriff's Department, working with other agencies.
Scene of celebrations for Lunar New Year. But police described arriving to find people pouring out onto the streets, screaming. The shooter had killed 10 people, and at least 10 more were taken to hospital, where some are tonight in a critical condition. Earlier on, tens of thousands